Okay, I got you real good. You know, I knew you would listen to this one because we always want to try to see if we can get some juice on somebody, especially if they love God and you're like, let's see what she's talking about. I knew it was something. Now she want to confess that she's sleeping around. Yeah, right. Let me tell you what I've been sleeping with, because this is time for me to share this. And I know many of you may be going through this a kind of similar thing, too. This is my true confession, because, yes, I am sleeping with Brother Chip, and I have also allowed Sister Bagel to get in. And this has been something else where I have found myself actually getting up through the night and finding these different things. I know you have heard me talk about this, where I find these different types of wrappers or crackers or chips. I will find these literally, in my bed when I wake up. And I'd be like, what is this? And, and I found out that actually as I did the research on this, and what brought back to my mind, and I was laughing when I was typing in the information that I sent you on this topic, True Sleeping Confessions, because a lot of people who won't admit the fact that that is exactly what they're doing, too. It's like it's really what the real truth of it is. It's just we've got some emotional hunger or stress that we're doing. But clinically, if you want to know the truth, what it is called sleep eating. Yes, it does have a name. But this particular, we all got some kind of disorder or dysfunction in our lives in some fashion. That's why we must pray and fast. And you better watch, too, because they know how to slip up on you real quick. And before you know it, you've adopted these little devils, and they're sleeping with you. And you sort of like agreed with them, that this is how I am. But the devil is crazy. This is the reason why I'm doing this 30-day this 30-day challenge, because I've come to understand how serious this matter can get when we don't take charge over our lives and not allow these spirits. So anyway, back to the sleep eating. And then I'm going to get into, how Brother Chip and Sister Bagel started to sleep with me as well, because, yes, we were all in the bed. And probably had some others in there, Granny Waffle and everybody else through the night. But anyway, here it is. Here I am looking at an article that I was reading in my AARP, because I am gracefully in my 60s now, praise God. I was looking at my AARP, what they call it, newsletter or newspaper, and they had this article in here that made me think about, sleeping with Brother Chip. And so here it is. They was talking about, the right time for a mealtime. And I went, let me just read this a little bit. And so I read that, and I started thinking, I'm going to get this message, so I hope to help a brother and a sister out. And one of the things that they were talking about is here that made me think about, this sleep, I call it sleepwalking or sleep eating. Well, really, actually, it is sleepwalking. But you are alert. It's just that you have gotten up because of several different reasons, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I really wanted to talk about this because they're all, of course, eating disorders that the enemy has caused us to get in this type of a syndrome because we're restless and we're hungry, because a lot of us, especially if we're preachers, we're working, we're eating wrong, a lot of times fast foods and things like that, and chips and things like that while we're working, especially if you're working from home. And that's why I think I need to shift my change and start going to my office, because I do a lot of things from home rather than going to my office. But I think I need to shift that and start going to the office so that I won't be so available to the refrigerator or the microwave here. But anyway, this issue, what they brought out in this article, flipped me to the term that I had to look up, because I knew that that's what it was. So I would tell people as a therapist, this is what you're going through. Not confessing that, I too was going through that as well, but because I identified what they were saying, of course, how can the pot call the kettle black? You just would try to help people because, you're a therapist. So here I am sleeping with Brother Chip and Sister Bagel all the time and want to let you know that you got to deal with this thing. I'm going to tell you why. See, what this sleep-related is, I'm trying to give you a definition of it. This sleep-related eating disorder, they said, is characterized by abnormal eating patterns during the night. And although it's not as common, they say, as sleepwalking, but it's sleep-related. And what it does is it occurs while you're sleeping, or it awakens you because you are hungry, because most of us are hungry for two reasons. We're hungry because maybe we didn't eat, or our eating patterns are off, and I want to talk about that in just a few minutes. Or the people or the types of food that we're eating, we're not eating so that we can have a balanced meal so that, we won't be hungry, or these different things that the dietitians can tell you about that keeps us, our whatever that is in our bodies balanced so that we won't be hungry as often. But anyway, I'm not trying to get to that degree with this message as much as it is. I'm trying to get you to see that confession that you need to confess to yourself and ask God to help you. And most importantly, go ahead on and do a challenge to kill this thing. And so, set yourself on a fast, or, when I say fast, I'm not necessarily talking about fasting on food. I'm talking about fast on the matter, because that's how I challenge the devil. I'm going to show you, I'm going to kill because like I said, we can starve our bodies from food, but we need to look at what is really going on concerning the matter. Okay, and so here's the matter. I am dealing with something that is awakening me, and I already know why. I just got to deal with it. And so my issue is stress. Simple as that. I already know it's stress. And so what I have to do is tell stress to go back to where it came from, and that is don't do the work. Okay, don't try to do work. See, what the problem is that we want to try to solve things and do things in our own time, in our own way, and before we know it, we've got insomnia, we've got stress where we're overeating, or we're eating on the run, or we think we're just so super spiritual, we're doing all these things to try to look like we're so busy and important, when actually we are on the edge of hurting ourselves, when many people are dropping dead or they're having heart attacks in their sleep. For the reason of just what I'm talking about, sleep eating. We're eating or we're eating wrong, and then we're eating at the wrong time. So that's what this article talked about. It talks about eating more during the day and less at night. They say because it's easier for your body to process the glucose, that's the sugar, in the daytime. And then they say we should fast at night. And that means when you find yourself getting up, because I literally had to look a minute when I go to the cabinet. So what I've done during this 30-day fasting time, I make sure that the things are not there. And so this is when I am awakened for whatever it is that's called sleep eating. When I go to the cabinet, now I'm awakened as I'm slamming the cabinet drawers or cabinet doors because there's nothing there. So I go, what is this? I don't see crackers. And I slam it. Then I'll go, what is this? There's no ice cream? What is this? There's no honey buns. There's nothing. And so I'm slamming these things, and now my eyes are awakened like, what am I? I'm in the kitchen? Wow, why am I here? And so then I'll go get back in the bed, and I'll go, well, Then I start to think about things, and I'm like, let me give me a bowl of cereal. And then I'm awakened now, and I'm awake, and I'm thinking about the matter, about what I need to do. Now I am recognizing that I'm stressed about a matter. I am concerned about something, and not to mention when I know that the Lord has revealed some things to me, now I'm thinking on the matter about what He revealed to me, and so now I'm like, well, Daddy, this is not your will. And so then now I am now trying to be concerned about something that He's already got in His hand for me. I know I'm talking to somebody. And so anyway, so fasting overnight is very important, they said. That's when your metabolism is at its slowest, okay? So during the day, your metabolism is at a full throttle. So when you fast at night, this will give you an opportunity for everything to calm down, and you won't be, this way you won't have this overload of this food that's just sitting there, and you wonder why you feel sluggish and full and can't go to the bathroom early in the mornings. I know I'm just talking to somebody, keep it real. But you need to say the third thing they say we need to stick to a meal routine. So they said don't just eat whenever, Sandy. Don't just eat whenever. That's bad not for your heart. It says bad not only for your heart, but also for your waistline. Well, thanks a lot for reminding me of that. When I read that, I'm like, yeah, I already know that. I already know my waist. I don't have one. But the fact of the matter is that when we eat, we know that we eat at night and sitting around typing and all that, your waist is going to get wide and so is your hips and your thighs. Oh, I did rhyme, didn't it? But it's real. But anyway, and then the fourth thing they said is that you need to schedule your snacks. Yes, Sandy. Yes, whoever's listening. We got to schedule our snacks. And so that means this can help us manage our hunger and control our portions if we can. And it can also keep us from relying on this junk food or these different calories that we intake because we're not paying attention to, the intake. We're not paying attention to what we're putting in our mouths. Most of the problem, too, is because we're so busy early in the morning, we try to skip breakfast and think that we're really fasting and all that. But even a fast that we have turned our plates down or whatever, because I fast every day. So what my ultimate goal, and ain't nothing super spiritual about it, is just making sure that I watch and pray. And so what I'm doing is watching and listening to God during this fasting hour, especially when I have to do kingdom business. I hope I'm talking to somebody. So you can understand what God is saying to you. Don't go over there. Don't say this. Go over here. I got some flavor for you over there. You got to fast and pray, especially when you're doing kingdom business or you're having a meeting about whatever kind of hell somebody might be trying to send you through in your ministry. You're going to have to fast and pray daily, not weekly, daily, okay? And skipping a meal in the morning is not going to work. So the best way I do to kind of help it's not full throttle, if they use, but it does help us to be able to keep having a headache and all that. So I usually get the high protein boost, and drink that. Either one of those, I drink that to make sure any type of breakfast drink that you want to have the liquid and not have much food in you. And take you some vitamins and things like that. But let's get back to the sleeping disorder. And I want to give you a couple of nuggets that I read. I want to give you a website you can go to and look at because I really thought it was really, really good to help a sister and a brother out. Now, you need to listen to this because, usually I call and I share messages about a lot of different things. But the Lord had me share this tonight because I think we need to really look at because the devil is trying to kill us. And I thank God that doing these 30-day challenges, it has helped me to be able to really take a good look at what it is that I am doing that's causing me to get up in the middle of the night, or what is it that I am being challenged with that's causing me to eat late at night. I never in my life seen so many saints. I hear them when you call them, "Are you busy?" "Oh, well, I'm cooking dinner." I look at the clock, I'm like, it's 8:30 at night. You should have been at 8 by now. We cannot eat that late. We're going to have to eat earlier. We're going to have to find a way to get something decent in if you're going to have to cook and freeze some things or whatever. You're going to have to find a way to get some decent meals in because I know I've been doing that. I've been cooking some decent meals and primarily veggies and things like that, not because I'm on any kind of fast. It's because I'm trying to get my body to obey me and not me obey my body. I know I'm talking to somebody. Listen to me. Lord, God help us all. And so it's not about a weight drop. It's not anything like that because it's going to happen anyway if we eat right. And so I'm working on that. And then I also wanted you to look at what this said here in regard to, eating at night. Now, one of the things about eating at night, many of us are going through some emotional cravings. And many of us are going through some stressors that's causing us to not be mindful of what we're eating. And so I want you to go to helpguide.org. That's HELP guide, GUIDE.org. And they gave a real good article talking about emotional eating. And they talked about versus mindful eating. And so that means we got to stop the stress eating. And we got to look at what do we need to eat just to satisfy us. During this time that I've been on this 30-day challenge, which will not end until the end of this month of April, it has really made me be very focused about what I'm eating and drinking. Okay, so, and to make sure that I keep water by me, one of the things that we got to do, we got to replenish ourselves and to push out the salts and the sugars and all these processes that are in our foods that we're eating, and to make sure that we try to keep us, developing our own little emotional toolkits that's going to help us to know how to kill the devil. And so that's been helping me. I'm sharing this because I want to make sure that we be effective. Some of the reasons why we can't deliver our messages, or some of the reasons why we get sluggish or feel like we don't want to preach no more or we don't want to do certain things because we're going through some emotional seesaws because of what we're eating or how we're putting things in our bodies. And our perceptions even get off because we're getting in these different emotional swings because of what we're eating. And you just don't believe what I'm telling you, but just keep on living. You'll see. These emotional impulses will come, and before you know it, you don't know why you have this urge. You don't know why you feel like this here. You don't know why you just want to be left alone. You don't want to be bothered with anybody. It's because we're eating these things, and now we're low. Now we're sad. We overate it. Now we want to think about this, and now we want to justify why we ate that. And I know I'm talking to someone. Many of us, as this article is saying, we turn to food for stress relief and comfort. I have said that often. The reason why I was eating something, because I feel like it was my due. I owed myself that because I've been doing this and I've been working hard, and I'm a guy on just get me a whole pint of ice cream and eat it. And I would do that. I would eat the whole pint, not portions of it. Maybe within a week span. No, I'm eating all the same day because I figure I deserve that. I haven't had that much to eat all day. So I want to pacify myself with a whole pint of ice cream and then later on get a bowl of cereal that night or, eat a full meal of something with cornbread and all this stuff. No wonder why I can't wear the skirt of the suit. I know I'm talking to somebody. And so we got to look at what am I emotionally challenged about? What is overpowering my thoughts? What is making me have a sleepless night or going to sleep hungry or have eaten something that have not, fulfilled me in a healthy way, that through the night or later in the daytime, I'm eating stuff and it's not fulfilling me. This is how Brother Chip and Sister Bagel has gotten to bed with me. And I literally would wake up, like I'm saying, I get out of bed to go to the bathroom through the night and trip over Brother Chip, which is the what they call Pringles, which I am trying to justify because they're Pringles and not Lay's, but I figure that they're thinner and they're less salty, so they're more healthy. Just devil will find any way to help us to eat what we want. So we got to look at, what am I doing? What urges or cravings is causing me to do this? Many people are doing this because they are lonely. Now, as a single woman, I hate to admit it because I am spoiled, so I'm not eating because I'm lonely. By no means. I'm eating because I'm stressed. I'm stressed because I am somewhat, I ain't going to call that out because that's what's wrong with us now. I want to give us all of these dysfunctional names. Well, they call it OCD, but I call it just want to do kingdom excellence. So I'm just like that. I just want things in order. And I think that's a part of the apostolic era of the apostle anyway. We just want to shoot straight and have it right. But actually, some of this stuff is habitual. We might as well keep it real, real, real. Some of this stuff is ridiculously overdone, and we're just doing too much. And so this is where I'm at now. And I bless God today that I'm being a mindful eater. And I'm saying this to you so you can learn, as this article is going to tell you, how to look at what's triggering you and to pause between the triggers and respond. That means look at, cast down the hell, tell the cookies to shut up. I've already told the cookies that, where it can go for me because I don't even buy them anymore. If I do, I'm buying them for you, to make sure that at least I can look at them while I'm giving them away because so many has been given to me. But one of the things I'm doing in that matter as well is not even giving them to you anymore because I know that if I'm giving them to you, I'm not helping you either. So please don't give me any more, not even jokingly, not even one. I am, because I did suffer with this type of sleep eating and addictive behavior as it relates to eating things that are not healthy for me. I'd appreciate it if you will not give me any more cookies. If you're going to give me anything, nuts and things like that, it's fine. But when it comes to any type of carb like that, I don't want it because it has really caused me a lot of problems in my body, and I got to look at what it has done to me with Brother Chip and Sister Bagel. I love bread. I don't want those things. And so it talks about emotional eating. In this article, it also talks about, how many times we use food from time to time as a pickup, as a reward, as I said earlier on, to celebrate whatever it is that we're going through or whatever, there's my bell, or whatever it is that we might be wanting to try to conquer or try to deal with, and actually subconsciously we're not dealing with it. We're just eating at the matter. And I'm reminded of that when I was smoking cigarettes. or marijuana back then when I was in the world. You know, I'd roll a dope to coke on that. Then I would go in the living room and smoke a cigarette, and then I'd come in the bedroom and light one, leave it in there, and then I'd go in the bathroom and smoke a cigarette in there and think. Or either I'd go outside and be mad about a situation when I was married with my husband, be smoking, puffing a cigarette, and then I'd come back in, and all those I had burning in these different rooms, they done burned down. And so what has happened, the Lord brought that to me and goes, look what you're doing. You're trying to cope through these different substances. Same thing with food. We try to cope with them, with the stress, the thing that's caused us to be upset or angry or lonely, exhausted or bored, you know. And we find ourselves trying to eat at these cycles or times that we think can make us feel better about the matter or get over the matter or conquer something that we think that we're doing that's going to help us to feel better or feel like we're not eating as much because we only ate that thing that we know that was not healthy, such as a whole pint of ice cream like I do. I know I'm talking to somebody. And so this emotional type of hunger, it will never, ever give us a fulfillment. This article is going to help you if you will read it. It's going to talk about no matter how powerless that you feel over food or your feelings, it's going to be impossible for us to, you know, really look at how we can make a positive change out of the thing if you don't think about eating the right way, eating the right time. You got to be mindful about what you're eating to gain control, not only over the food, but over your own weight, over your heart system, as it talked about here, eating in the right time. And so it gave some things here for us to look at, the difference between, you know, to see whether or not if you can see if you're an emotional eater because you're hungry, or you are an emotional eater because you're physically hungry or you're emotionally hungry. So it talks about emotional hunger comes on suddenly, how it hits you all of a sudden. You know, you feel this physical hunger. On the other hand, when it comes, it slowly comes gradually because your stomach is growling. You feel like you're hungry, you know, and maybe you haven't eaten for a long period of time. But then when the emotional hunger craves have specific comfort foods that you particularly, you know, want, or almost anything sounds good to you, this is kind of like an unhealthy type of way, because now you might not even have healthy food around, like carrots. Who wants carrots? I'd rather have a cracker over a carrot. And this is the reason why we like to have food like cheesecake, pizza, all that kind of stuff, and I love that. Things that are fast, and I love what they call those what do you call those things? Those little pizza little things that you put in there, hot pockets. Just horrible. And so the emotional hunger, they said it says isn't satisfied once you're full. When you're emotionally hungry, you won't be satisfied even when you think that you're full, because you keep wanting more and more, and you find yourself often eating until you're uncomfortably stuffed. And that's what I used to do. I eat so many crackers and so many pretzels, and it's like I had an addiction over pretzels. You just give me a pretzel. Why? Because I'm crunching at the matter. The more I think, the more I would eat a pretzel. The more I would think, the more I would eat a cracker. I would make peanut butter crackers. I would buy peanut butter crackers. And so emotional hunger often leads to regret, guilt, or shame. So when you eat to satisfy physical hunger, you're unlikely to feel guilty or shamed, because you're simply giving your body what it needs. But if you feel guilty after you eat, it's likely because, you know, how deep down the situation has got, that you're not eating for the nutritional reason. You're only eating because you're feeling this emotional struggle or this thing that you're going through. Well, I think I've given enough time on this topic. I didn't want to stay on here this long. Just I felt like that I want to help a sister brother out so that you can get brother chip out of your bed if you're a woman, and if you're a man, that you can keep out either that granny waffle or that Sister Bagel out of your bed. Because I'm telling you right now, they've all been in my bed with me, and that is my true confession about my sleeping around the wrong way and not with the right time and kind. in my life and in my bed to keep me alive. So you can identify a lot of these stressors by looking at, the places, the times, the foods, the different events going on in your life to see if it's stress. You can look at if you're trying to stuff your emotions, if that'll trigger, if you're going through something with somebody, or you're feeling lonely, you're bored, or do you feel empty? Are you dealing with childhood secret matters? A lot of people have gained a lot of weight because they're not dealing with the matter that's eating at them alive in their family matters. Marriage matters. So you're eating at the matter, and many people have starved themselves, which is unhealthy because they're trying to keep their weight down to please their mate when actually they need to eat to be healthy. This uncontrolled stress was, it will literally take your life out, or social influence. You got to quit being with people. All they always want to do is take you out to eat, go out to eat. That it's time out there. It's a nice gesture, but we got to find a way to start fixing food at home. Invite them over to cook a healthy meal. And pretty much when people want to go out to eat, that's why I tell them, no, let me come and cook for you. And if you're not a good cook, then find somewhere you can go and eat some healthy home-cooked meal stuff there. Okay? And all of them ain't that good no more. And so there are some alternatives. Get some counseling. Look at the things that's causing you to be anxious. Look at the thing that's causing you to be exhausted. Look at the thing that's causing you to be bored. Find a way to get over these things. Find a way to get some help to find out from day to day, one day at a time, one issue at a time, and make sure that you look at, am I eating at the right time to protect my heart? Am I eating the right amount or the right thing to protect my heart so that I can live long, so that I can be a kingdom-minded builder rather than somebody who's sluggish and sick all the time because of what I am putting in my mouth? Amen? And so that's all I got for you tonight. I pray that you will share this message to help a sister and a brother out, because I know I'm sick and tired of the situation. That's why I went on and told my true sleeping confession tonight, because I'm sick of Brother Chip, and I've already told Sister Bagel they got the G.O., and I know if you're hearing me tonight, you should make the same decision, because we've got to be alive and well to kill these demons in this last day. I'll talk to you later. God bless you.